Last time on Space Engineers: A New Home.
Destination reached. Beginning initial descent. Warning. Unknown electromagnetic interference detected. Warning. Catastrophic failure of the autopilot system.
Maybe set up a house on the beach. Keeps us out of the majority of the elements. Finish this thing up. Get it online. And it looks like it destroyed the ore detector. Alright, so last parts. This should get Marvin up and on. Offline. Well, there must not be enough power to run him. That should effectively double my power input. Alright, looks like Marvin's starting to boot up. Well, at least his CPU's online. Maybe he'll be able to reconstruct himself. Got enough power now, got those batteries online. What I'm worried about is when the sun goes down and the power level drops, I don't know if Marvin's going to be able to continue to run his repair diagnostics.
And now the continuation. Well, Marvin, I guess I'll let you run your process, and I'm gonna go see what I can do about getting some more power for this place. Alright, so we definitely want to keep track of the sun so we can set up the optimal solar panel. So raise is above this peak. It looks like it's running like this. Alright, now we'll just keep an eye on that thing goes down. But first we need to work on some way of getting those batteries attached to the station, to the house. Well, I'm thinking the best way to do that is probably with a ground vehicle. Let's get myself set up a nice little workstation here where I can start working on the car. No, another meteor storm's inbound. Although if this keeps up, I'm definitely gonna have to go find some magnesium and make some more ammo. Well, it looks like the sun is gonna go down right to the side of that one peak. We're gonna have to adjust our solar panels to get a little bit better coverage, I think. Alright, well that's a start. Should keep us lit up at least. Let's see what we can do about making a little car. Well, we want it tall enough to get some good ground clearance. Thinking using the shocks, the pneumatic shocks and struts on the tires to possibly raise and lower, drop it down on top of the batteries and pick them up. Kind of like using the whole car as a giant crane. Question is this going to have enough ground clearance or am I going to have to build it up higher? Alright, well now we got the basic outline of a car. Put some wheel stops in and we'll drop it down. Alright, now that the outline's all done, I need to figure out the rest of the carriage. I'm thinking maybe a roll cage on top of here to protect the batteries and the cargo, and add a little bit of ballast for the crane operation portion. On the other hand, I do need to figure out how am I gonna charge this thing. I can't rely on the connecting it to the base all the time, at least not until I get a better power situation going with the base. This thing needs to have its own set power system so that I can go out and do mining and not worry about the batteries dying while I'm out. So let's see how much room a solar panel takes. Well, I don't think this is quite wide enough for one. Maybe if I try widening it out just a little bit. Instead of rolling in, maybe I can roll it outward for the roll cage. About right. And maybe not. No, it's hanging more off one side than the other. The last thing I want is an off-centered vehicle. That would just make it all unstable, especially when we're trying to tow things. Let's see, maybe if I do them parallel, it'll extend forward a little more than I wanted, but might be the only option. Yeah, that's not bad. I think that'll probably work. Just put little supports here on the edge. Should be good to go. Alright, got nice lateral supports now. Let's see. And some vertical. Yeah, that's good. I should keep it structurally sound in either direction. Not a big deal when I'm just driving around, but, you know, If I just happen to roll over and hit a rock or something, I would prefer to have a vehicle I can salvage to having to start all over and lose all the resources. Alright, that should work. Now, let's see. Well, I guess now I'll get rid of this bumper. Obviously, my original design of attaching the clip to the bumper and using the struts is not going to work. It's just not tall enough. The wheels are not big enough, so I have to figure something else out. Alright, well that looks good. Let me get all this frame welded up and then I'll figure out how I'm going to make this thing a tow truck. Alright, that welds up the frame, so I was thinking, since the car's not tall enough to use the wheel strut frame for lifting, maybe I can extend off of the solar panel framing and turn it, just bring it out like a big hook, kind of like the old Earth cranes used to do when they built their tall high-rise buildings back in ancient Earth. Let's see. About there, that should be good. Alright, well, if I'm going to do a crane method, I'm definitely going to need a little more ballast in the back. And what better way than to add a connector, since that'll allow me not only to add the weight to the back, but it'll also allow me to connect to the station, so when I use this for mining, I can offload my ore, plus recharge the batteries once I get the base's power situation a little more sorted out. Now that the boom arm is done, I'm thinking the best way to do this is probably with a piston. That way I can drop it down and raise it up pneumatically. I can attach an electromagnetic landing gear to the end, and that should allow me to pick up the batteries and move them around, hopefully. Alright, now that the car is done structurally, it's time for some amenities, like a driver's seat. Got a little extra storage here. I'll move the seat forward so I can actually see. Plug this into here. Alright, that takes care of me being able to drive. Now I'll add in the parts needed so that Marvin can drive it when the time comes. So I need to put in an antenna and a remote control unit. Alright, let's take her for a drive.